Hello and welcome to this week's Torah. In this week's Seder, we read about the spies that were sent out from the desert to the land of Israel by the Jewish people to spy out the land for them and to get a feeling of what the land was like. Was the land fruitful? What did the fruit look like in the land? What were the people like in the land? Was the land a strong land or a weak land? Was the land fortified, or would it be easy for the Jewish people to conquer this land? And then we read the names of the people that were sent out. And when we read the names of the people that were sent out, when we get to the tribe of Manasseh, it actually says, Lemate Yosef lemate Manasseh. To the tribe of Yosef, to the tribe of Manasseh. And Rashi asked the question, why do we mention Yosef over here at this juncture? When we mention Ephraim, who is the other son of Yosef, and they also sent a spy out for Ephraim, we did not mention Yosef. And suddenly at this juncture we feel that we need to mention Yosef. And Rashi points out something very important. And Rashi says, Yosef had a similar trait to that of the spies. We read in Bereshis about Yosef and his brothers. And one of the things that incensed the brothers so much about Yosef was the fact that Yosef brought slander about them to their father. He came to the father and would tell them the brothers did this and the brothers did that, and you know how they're behaving. And it created a tremendous amount of animosity between the brothers and between Yosef. And then that animosity led to another thing, which led to something else, and that led to the sale of Yosef down to Egypt, which led to the exile. And now come the Meraglim, now come those spies, and the question becomes, what will those spies do? Will those spies follow in the same traits of their parents, or will those spies make amends for those traits? And Ephraim, whose spy was Yehoshua, Joshua, he came back with a good report about the land. But Manasseh's spy came back with a negative report. And the Torah says, Lemate Yosef, lemate Manasseh. There is a progression over here. There is a trait that existed by the parents that continues to exist by the children. You know, I was sitting this week with a groom, and I was speaking to him about marriage in general. And I said to him, if you don't work on your marriage to change things in your marriage, this groom was now on the second time around. I said, if you don't make a conscious effort to do things differently this time, then what will happen in your second marriage is the same thing that will happen in your first marriage. Same old, same old. We get used to what we do. We get used to certain ways of behaving. And unless we make a conscious effort to change that behavior, we will behave exactly in the same way. And this is what we learn over here. We oftentimes take very good behavior from our parents. We learn amazing things from our parents. But sometimes we learn things from our parents that we wish we hadn't learned. Sometimes there are certain traits that our parents pass on to us that are not the most desirable things. And then at that point the question becomes, will we continue those traits or will we not continue those traits? Ephraim, the tribe of Ephraim, they made a difference. They turned around and their spy said, no, my father might have done that. I am not going down that route. Manasseh saw that, knew that his father had made a mistake, knew what his father had done and what it cost the Jewish people, but yet still did not learn the lesson. And we need to learn our lesson. We need to take some introspection and realize what is it that we do correctly and what is it that we do incorrectly. Maybe we have something innate that we want to get rid of. And then we think about it and find ways to eradicate that from our lives. And we grow and become bigger people. Otherwise, it's the same old, Lemate Yosef, lemate Manasseh. Joseph does something wrong. His children, the tribe of Manasseh, do exactly the same thing. Think about what you want to change about yourself. And then find a way of doing it. Have a very good Shabbos.